If I look at 5 years post-Katrina and look at the state of urban design in the city of New Orleans and then look forward to the end of my career, I'd like to think that we've made some progress in setting up a framework to be better at that. And I think that, again, in another 5 years, you'll see, I think, a lot of the seeds or the product of those seeds that have been planted that will come to fruition.
I think one of the main lessons of the past 5 years has been that history matters and geography matters, and when you manipulate and alter of all environments, in particular a river-dominated delta in the form of levees and canals and structures, it collapses. The way we could truly build upon the lessons learned is by reinstalling those deltaic processes, getting that fresh water and sediment out of the river channel, beyond the artificial levees that constrained it, back onto the deltaic plain, pushing back that saltwater wedge and building up those wetlands. 100 years of environmental tinkering has its consequences.
We really have to seek to build higher density on higher ground. I think it's a lesson for all deltaic cities.
We had virtually no planning. We had generations of leaders who had never experienced what it was to follow a roadmap or a master plan. Then along comes Katrina, and those of us who had been fighting in the trenches for the validity of planning suddenly woke up to the Super Bowl of planning.
One of the amazing things that happened after Hurricane Katrina here was the interest that the local citizenry took in planning, really for the first time in my lifetime. I mean, they were showing up in droves.
Residents are the experts of their own community. Collectively, we can develop a vision that we all want to see and buy into.
5 years post-Katrina, we've developed a great deal of urban design expertise in the city that is unparalleled. The citizen-driven neighborhood planning process was what got us started. People were obviously enthusiastic and wanted to see the city that they love come back.
Citizens are becoming much more aware of what we in the industry call smart growth, which is walkability, bikeability, neighborhoods that are conducive to good health. The importance of farmers markets, fresh food, and fresh fruit and vegetables in the neighborhood.
And if there's anything I've learned in New Orleans as a physical planner, is the power of New Orleans is love and affection of place.
Broadmoor took on 6 to 10 feet of water. It stayed in our community for 3 weeks. Our approach was holistic in trying to ensure that we rebuilt our neighborhood with real anchors that would ensure that our neighborhood would thrive and come back better than it was. It was us coming together as a neighborhood, voting unanimously that every resident of this community had the right to return.
People that want to get back to Gentilly want to get back to Gentilly. People that want to get back to the 9th Ward want to get back to the 9th Ward, 7th Ward. There's a power of place.
Community transformation and restoration has something to do with really taking a look at being careful and thoughtful and intentional in how we move forward. And then, you know, we can be an example to other communities that will inevitably have to experience disaster and hardship.
What do we do with this recovery opportunity? How do we get to a table? Don't leave any of our passion outside the door, but also learn how to continue to learn how to talk about it in non-threatening, passionate ways, but non-threatening and empathetic ways, so we can build a community, not a series of neighborhood silos.
The citizen planners need to be vigilant and careful about the uses they allow into their neighborhoods, and they need to be located in the right locations.
Our DNA of New Orleans is as a global city with a very unique cultural mix. I mean, we are a truly authentic city. There's a number of things about our community that are absolutely authentic to New Orleans. You mix them all together, and we're quite an authentic and sometimes confusing adventure.
I think probably we always were resilient, we just didn't know it. And the disaster really called on all of us to reach deep down within ourselves and pull out every last ounce of strength and energy and resources that we could muster to rebuild and to take this city seriously and not take it for granted.